So it's 8 o'clock, time for us to get started. So everyone else who's arriving a little bit later, they're going to have to catch up with us. So good evening, everybody. Time for us to get started, and welcome to the Sunday How To. And I was already planning this one last week because I'd seen some stuff last week, and I really do think that this is really important that we get to grips with social media right now. In fact, in the intro that I typed up for this, I said that France is absolutely going nuts, and India's going nuts, and Latin America's all going nuts. And at the same time, for some strange reason, we're not. And I don't understand why we're not going. Well, I do understand why we're not going nuts. In fact, I could probably tell you in one word why we're not going nuts, and that's the word for you: millennials. I think the real key to growth in this business is getting hold of millennials, because everywhere where the business is going bananas, it's going through them. And we're just not talking to them. And I think there's a couple of reasons for it. I think the first thing is that we naturally talk to our friends, our colleagues, and our peers, and they're people of our age. And I think the reality of it is, the biggest problem for the majority of us is that the only millennials that we know are our kids or even grandkids, as the case may be. And they're not going to listen to us. And it's not because they won't listen to someone older, because those guys will listen to Rick Rover and follow him like a god. The difference is that they're our kids, and they know that we're not rich, and we're talking to them about doing something that's going to make a ton of money, and they're saying, well, you haven't got any money, or you haven't got a ton of money. Yeah, so they're not believing what they say to us, whereas other millennials possibly will, but we're still not talking to them. But the weird thing is, and I was looking at this, and I was looking at how differently they communicate to us, because when we were kids, if you wanted to talk to your friend, when I was a kid, I wanted to go and talk to my best friend at night after I'd finished school, or even when I first started work. I either went round and knocked on his door, or as time went on a little bit, maybe we phoned them. You know, we used to see the movies merrily, where you guys had telephone services like God, way back when it was telephone was for rich people when I was a kid in England. So kids didn't have telephones in their rooms. So if you wanted to talk to your friends, you've got to go out and do them. These days they don't do that at all. These days everything happens online. I mean, and when I say everything happens online, they even date online these days. I was blown away in February of this year when Corey came over to this country, and he came across on the Saturday. I picked him up at the airport, Sunday rather, picked him up at the airport. We did the event, and he was staying in Liverpool for a few days. And he decided that he wanted to talk to a girl. And we were going across to see him on Tuesday, and Corey had been playing around with social media, and there he is. And the next thing you know, he's got a date set up online. Yet somehow or other, in France, India, Chile, Peru, Mexico, places where we think people have got no money, they're all reaching more and more people. They're reaching more and more millennials, and we're not. And it's because they've all mastered social media, because they absolutely live on social media. And that's what we've got to get them to. Now, I'm not suggesting necessarily that we have to live on social media, because the reality of it is we don't talk their language. But we've got to tap into that market first of all. And the only place we're going to tap into that market is by finding them on social media. This is a simple fact. Without a shadow of a doubt right now, social media is the single most powerful way to prospect, to recruit, and grow your network marketing business in 2019. Absolutely, bar none, no exceptions. That's the way your business will grow. So somehow or other, we've got to come to grips with it, and we've got to make it work. This is the gold rush. This is like the 21st century gold rush. That's where it all is. But you've got to do it properly. You have to do it right. You've got to do it without spamming. You can't look needy and wimpy and begging for business or anything else like that. And you're not going to blag people into coming to some hotel presentation and things like that, that just doesn't work these days the way it used to do. There was a time online, if I wind the clock back 5 or 6 years ago, Merrily and I were both involved with a radio network in the USA, and they asked me if I wanted to take over as operations director for Europe. And I used social media to build a network of 32 radio stations in the space of about 18 months, 32 radio stations throughout Europe, and fully staffed it, and I got everybody on social media. But it was so different then from what it is today, because all I did then was just it would get banned for spam, what we did then. It just wouldn't happen today. Today, it's got to be done differently. And if you don't do it, if you do it right, rather, if you get it right, then there's no need for any kind of rejection, no humiliation, no embarrassment, because what will happen if you do it right, people will come to you and ask if they can join your business. Back then, when Merrily and I were building that radio network, I was going out saying, who wants to make some extra money? Who wants to be part of this radio station? Who wants to do this? And I was offering something, and people were putting their hands up and they were saying me. These days, offering doesn't work. You need to find people who are looking for something and make yourself recognizable as the person who can give them what they want, so they come to you. Just think about this right now. Our business is all about duplication. We've told people a million times over, it's all about duplication. But if everything that you're doing is wrong, then everyone else in your team is going to make the same mistakes, and your team's not going to grow. So we've got to figure out what it is that people are doing correctly and do what they're doing. And that's why I go back to social media and talking about how we've got to do it the right way. So right now we're going to talk about 5 steps that I believe are absolutely essential when it comes to building your reputation on social media. So step 1 is to choose the platform that you like. Now, I sent out a message a couple of days ago and I said, besides Facebook, what are the platforms is anybody using on social media? And I got a couple of people said LinkedIn, and a couple of people said Instagram, and a couple of people said I've got a Twitter account but I don't really use it. But that was it really, and it really wasn't sort of inspiring. It took ages for people to come back. The only person who actually came back and said that they looked at a number of them was Tez, but Tez isn't here right now. But Tez kind of lives on social media, and he does live on that, but not in the same way that we're going to be talking about. But look at these for some facts. Nearly 5 billion people in the world use the internet these days, and 4 billion of them use social media. But which ones are going to be the right ones to use? So let's choose the top 5 platforms, and let's tell you why we've got them as the top platforms. So first of all, Facebook's the obvious one. 2 billion users worldwide, and 97% of businesses in the world have a business profile on Facebook. Their advertising platform, if you pay for Facebook ads, it's out of this world. You can target so accurately, it's incredible. But it's crowded, and when it gets crowded, it also gets quite expensive. But if you can do it, then it's amazing. YouTube's interesting because YouTube has 1.5 billion users. It's actually the second biggest social network on the planet. And I was talking to Simon Brooks about this the other day, and he said, well, I don't consider that to be a social network. Well, the rest of the world does, so you're outvoted. The fact is, it is a social network, but 1.5 billion users. And you think about this, when you've got videos up on YouTube, people can watch them on the phone, people can watch them on the laptops, people can watch them on the TV, and they're watching them all over the place. Every smart TV these days has got a YouTube app on it. It's perfect for training, how-to videos, and you know well that whenever I record these things, they all go up on YouTube, and that's how we share them out with people. That's how we share the opportunity videos. But there's a lot more that you can do as well. And if you can put together a short, I put a video out a couple of weeks ago as a teaser for the Zoom call. And if you can share those short videos, those sort of 20-second videos, and you can get them in front of enough people, then that's a good way of getting things around as well. Now, Instagram is obviously massive these days. Instagram's just passed 1 billion users, 800 million of which are millennials and under the age of 24. And that's where we're seeing all the real growth in all the countries that Kuvera is growing through, because it's all based around Instagram. You see Joe Martinez, and Joe Martinez is working his damnedest to try to get to 1 million followers on Instagram, and all of his people have. And people say that it's great for glamour products, and they talk about it being really good if people are, for network marketing, if people are into beauty and things like that, because women can show beauty tips and stuff like that. But look at what the Indians are doing when they use Instagram, because whenever someone ranks up in India, Viraj puts something out like this. Abhishek Kumar, whoever he is, no disrespect to Abhishek, yeah, whatever. But this guy's just gone Business Builder, just hit $500, and it gets shared all over Instagram. But he looks like a movie star with that background behind it. And that's the thing. It's about the visual stuff, about the way they're sharing it. Next thing you know, someone else goes executive. Middle-aged couple, nothing stunning. It's the background that they put and the way they share it and the excitement and the hype. And you see the excitement and the hype coming from the French. And you see it coming from Latin Americans as well. If you'd been in the UK a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months back rather, when Joe was here and he had Kaki Donoso with him, and she was telling us about how she kills it on Instagram. But Kaki, she looks gorgeous to start off with. She looks like a beauty queen. She's on that thing like every 5 minutes. It's incredible. That's reaching huge numbers of people. Twitter surprised me when I saw the numbers there, 335 million users, which is a huge amount of users, but compared to the other platforms, nowhere near as much as I thought. But 64% of marketers used Twitter rather. And Twitter was right back like 10, 15 years ago. Twitter was seen as the way to reach people with short, catchy messages. It's really, really good during live events. So if you can turn around and you can say to people, we're just going live right now. It's good for Zooms. It's good for if we've got a live event going and people are heading up to meet you at a live event, to let people know, because those things go out in pretty much in real time, because when the next message comes up, it drops down and down and down. So you can pan that time and time again. LinkedIn is another one that people are using, and LinkedIn was interesting. And I was surprised with LinkedIn about how small the numbers were comparatively. 294 million people on LinkedIn, but they're all classed themselves as professional people. We always considered it to be social media for businessmen aged between 30 and 55. But what you need to be putting on LinkedIn, if you're putting content out there, is you need to be putting content about skill development, telling people how they can do something to improve their skills and their abilities, how they can improve sales, work trends. It has to be phrased in a business-like tone, not the same as you get when you share on the other platforms. And so that was my top 5. I put a 6th one in. And I put a 6th one in because this one interests me as well, because I've had a Pinterest account now for years. And back in the radio days, I got an awful lot of business from Pinterest. And I started looking at it again, because Pinterest has a chunk of active users. But this is the important thing with Pinterest. 78% of users say that content on Pinterest from brands are useful more than anything else. Not people showing videos of cats or photographs of what they had for the tea. It's contents about brands, and our business is all about branding. So therefore, I thought that's useful to know about as well. So that's 6 social media accounts that we can start. So the question is then, which one should you use? And I've got my own thoughts on it, and my best advice if I was saying which one to use is this. Pick one to focus on and get great at it. Rather than trying to do 6 badly, pick one and do it really, really well. And when you get good at one, then to pick another one and then cross promote from one to the other. Facebook's an obvious place for all of us to start because we've all got a head start on Facebook. We've all got a following. Instagram is a natural following to move on to as well because first and foremost, Facebook owns Instagram. So if Facebook owns Instagram, everything that you put on Instagram can be transferred over to Pinterest and vice versa. So when I put my posts out on Instagram, they'll automatically appear on my Facebook page. Yeah. So there are ways to cross promote and make those things work for you. So the next thing then is getting started. And this is really where the sorts of the lessons are going to come in place. So here's some things that I think we have to do first and foremost. If you haven't yet created a business account or a business page on Facebook, you need to do that. That's the first essential step. If you're trying to do it with your own personal profile, you're fighting yourself because you turn yourself into your own worst enemy. And it depends on how much you share on social media about yourself. Younger people share way more details about themselves than I would ever have shared when I was young. Younger people put, up their love life is up there, their drunken exploits are up there, things that I would have been embarrassed to tell anybody about. People happily show it for the world these days. That's great if you want to do that, but if you want to build a business, make it separate. So create a business page so people are not seeing all of your drunken sessions and everything else. I was looking at Christmas, this last Christmas gone, and I was doing a lot of work on Facebook, looking to try to attract other networkers and recruit them. And I came across a woman in Manchester, not too far from me, and she was a networker. And it was, in fact, it must have been New Year's Eve or the day before New Year's Eve. She was getting ready to go to a party. She had a photograph of herself up, and this woman was in her mid to late 30s. And I've got to be diplomatic here and say she was a chunky girl. She wasn't the smallest of girls, and the black leopard skin bikini was like not a good look for going out on a Sunday night, to be going out on New Year's Eve or anything else like that. But to put it all over Facebook as well, on the page where you're trying to tell people you're a serious business person, that's insane. So that's why you have to have a separate page. It's really, really important because you've got to look professional. So you need, first and foremost, you need to get a good head and shoulders photograph of yourself. And some people will turn around and say you need to have a professional shot. You don't need to have a professional shot, but just a good picture of yourself. There's head and shoulders, and preferably with no distractions in the background or anything else like that. You also need to have some sort of header banner for it, and make it as simple as you can. Mine has a message on it. Yours can have a message on it, or whatever you want, but don't make it too fussy and too complicated. And then some sort of punchy description of what you stand for. And the expression I came up with was an elevator pitch, or the Americans call an elevator pitch for the business. It's that 2 seconds, there you go, I can tell my story right now. And a username that reflects your business, rather than it just being facebook.com, Graham McHeath 127916 dash something or other. Just try and, you can shorten it, you can pick a username and come up with something. I came up with Marketing Mutineer for mine. And I sort of racked my brains trying to figure it out. And what I was thinking of, I was thinking in terms of Fraser Brook has his Ninja Networker. And I was trying to think of something that had that kind of role to it, if you like. And so I came up with Marketing Mutineer. And if you want to click through and have a look at my page and see what my page looks like, and I'm not suggesting for any second that my page is perfect, but it will give you a starting point. And I told a couple of people a few weeks back that I would give them pages that are some other example pages, and for whatever reasons, with everything that's been going on with me for the last few weeks, I haven't done it. So after this call, I will put up some sample links for everyone to go and look at other networkers' business pages. You can have a look and get some ideas, and I'll put up pages for men, pages for women, pages for couples. Have a look, see what you like, and see which ones, and you'll see where you can see some of the ideas that I've taken as well, so you can see how it works. That gets us on to step 3, and step 3 is where it really starts to get together, and it's building an audience. This is the first thing you need to do when you get that page. Do not promote your business or your products on that page when you first start it. Because if you have a brand new page that you've just started with no content on it, and all you do is you put, come and join Covera, make $500, make $6,000 a month, make this, make that, people will just look and go, no, it's just another sales pitch. Yeah. So right now, don't promote the business, don't promote the products. The first thing you've got to do is get a group of followers and fans, build an audience for yourself. Yeah. So how are you going to do it? Well, you're going to ask people to follow you and support you. So to start off with, you can go to everybody that you have on your social media friends lists, and you can say, I've just started a page, and will you give me some sort of, you'll have a look at it, comment on it, follow it. In fact, that gives you an idea. In fact, though, let's give you a script. So you can invite colleagues, you can invite business contacts, everything else, and family as well, who are going to support you, and say this to them. So don't sell anything, not yet, but what you're going to say to them is, invite them with a message, something like this. I've just created a new page from a business, and I'd love you to comment on it or something like that, if you don't mind. Or more importantly, you could say something like, I've just started a new page to cover news and information about financial fitness, and I'd love your feedback. And then please feel free to follow it, share it, retweet, like, whatever you want to do with it, but send other people to it. Because when social media starts to work, it's nothing to do with people liking you. The likes are just a sort of a bit of an ego massage for you. What's important is the shares and the comments. When people put comments and people share it, that's where the magic comes from. So get people to do that in the first instance. And if you do that, first of all, you'll start to build some sort of following, because the first thing that you're really trying to sell is just yourself. And the sorts of things that you can put is you can put interesting content that they're likely to like. And as I said before, not immediately trying to recruit people, but I've got an example that I came up here with. And I looked on Facebook earlier on today, and where are we? I've lost it. No, right. This was it. The sorts of things that you really want to be sharing are things that they're going to find interesting, that they'll stop and read and make sense. And I saw this on Trevor Edwards' page yesterday. And Trevor posted something from 7news.com Australia. And they'd just written an article that said 6 reasons why you need to know about retail forex trading. And it's a brilliant article. You click through it, and the article says, loads and loads of people these days are turning to trading to make some extra money for themselves. And it's a very positive article, but it's not Trevor trying to sell Forex. It's not Trevor trying to sell Covera or alerts or anything else. It's something that someone independent has written that supports our article. And then Trevor put at the bottom, to learn more, comment or PM me, so he could tell them more about it if someone did find it interesting. And I thought, well, that was a great story, and that's a good example of it. Now, if you don't know where to find things like that, there's always Google. Ask Google. So I just went to Google and I typed in money-related websites UK. And you can see a list of websites there. And no matter where you are, whether you're based in South Africa, whether you're based in the US, whether you're based in Denmark, wherever you are, just type in the appropriate company. and find something that's going to appeal to your local audience. Yeah, but you will find, and there you'll find news that's going to give you ideas about how you can put something across to people about why they need our products and our services. But that will fill your page with interesting content, and it will make your page look different from every other network marketer that just puts ad or post after post after post after post that just says join me, join me, join me, join me, join me. You know, you're putting up something that's more intelligent. Even if you do something funny, you know, cartoon about trying to raise kids on a shoestring budget, or articles about rising unemployment, just something interesting, or a story about someone, a friend or a colleague you know who's done something amazing, and you say some congratulations to it, and you put their name in it, and you tag it, and you tag them in it, and if they see themselves tagged, they share it with their friends, and your message gets spread around. But share something at least once a day, and the rule, I am told, is maybe even as many as 3 to 5 times a day. I'm not sure that I do, well, I know I definitely don't do as many as that. I do something every day one way or another. And I make sure that when I post something, if I post something on Instagram, it'll go across and it'll appear on all my other platforms as well. But just share often enough to build a reputation of having something that's worth listening to and something that's worth visiting. And if you've got a website of your own and you write any articles of your own, then you can post those and you can link to them. If you haven't got a website of your own and you don't know how to go about it, I'll happily give anyone some beginner's advice in it, but I don't want to get into full-blown lessons about how to create websites. But blog websites are really simple to create these days. And you can always turn around, you can always, even if you don't want to get into blogging, go back to what I was saying about video before in YouTube. Even if you just turn around and talk into YouTube, into the camera on YouTube, and create a vlog or a blog. Because I heard something else the other day. I heard something this week which I thought was really, really weird. Because this week was the 50th anniversary of the moon landing, Lego did a survey, and they surveyed 300 children, and they wanted to see how many, basically they wanted to see how many still wanted to be astronauts. And I'm sure Lego had it in mind that if that's the case, the latest Lego kit of Apollo 13 was coming out, or whatever it may be, Apollo 11. There'd be all that sort of stuff coming out. Astronaut came last in the list of, last out of 10, the 10 jobs they listed, astronaut was the least thing that they wanted. But the thing that the teenagers wanted to be more than anything else these days, they didn't even want to be a pop star, they wanted to be a vlogger, not a blogger, a vlogger, a video, so to have a video blog. Because these days, kids sit in the room talking to the camera, and they make blogs about taking things out of boxes and get millions of hits. I mean, the world is going crazy, but nonetheless, these kids are getting millions of hits, but making money out of it. You could maybe put your own messages across on video camera and share that on there. So there's a few different things you could there. And maybe, just occasionally, maybe one in every 8, one every even 10 posts, you share a link to something on your own website, either to your own website or to a capture page that you can start to recruit social media followers for your own business. But that's it, 1 in every 8, 1 in every 10, something like that. And everyone saw last week when I accidentally posted that on something, but something like that, so that people click on my social media, and as they go from that, they'll go through to a landing page, and I've got a prospect that I can approach. Because this is the point of it all now, and this is where it starts to get interesting. When you build that following, what you actually get is you get to advertise and promote only to a one market. Now, last week I said to you that people only buy from people who they like, they know, and they trust. This whole process is a bit long-winded, but it's about building some trust and rapport with people. And it's about getting them to like you, getting to know you, getting to come back and watch what you're doing and be interested, and they will come to trust you, and they'll get to the point when they will ask you about the things that you want to talk about. So we do that and we follow that up. And now that you've got a following, now you can start creating content to post on your own website, so that anyone who's going to follow that link through to your own message, to your website, or message you or click through or whatever, or go to a landing page, and then you can provide them with contact details, and now you can start to follow up. Once you actually get through to the landing page, what you're actually going to have on the landing page is a lead magnet. And the lead magnet is where you're going to turn it all into taking a prospect from being a prospect online into a real live person. But that is another subject for another day. So I'm going to stop this sharing this at the moment, and I'm going to start asking for questions. So let's go gallery view. We've got everybody on there. So questions, anybody?
Roger.
Yeah, cello.
Can you hear me?
I certainly can. That was why I answered you.
I'm sat in a noisy pub. Can you set up a business page in your own name, or has it got to be different? Or
nope, you can set a business page in your own name. My business page, well, my business page, the URL is Marketing Mutineer, but when you actually look at it, it just says Roger Garth UK. And the only reason it says Roger Garth UK is because if you try to Google Roger Garth, the first one you get is this Italian supermodel, which I understand is an easy mistake. But, so I didn't want anyone to be confused, especially seeing as he looks like a girl. So I said Roger Garth UK. But yes, you can create. So you could have, if you want to have Barry's Engraver, if you wanted to have cello, whatever it is.
Okay.
Create the business page in your own name.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. I'll probably see you again. Well, talk to you again tomorrow.
I have absolutely no doubt about it. All right. Anyone else, guys? Simon? No? It's just waving, just being sociable. Hi, Simon. Okay.
I have a question.
Merrily.
So we have our Kuvera site, we have $1 Million Secrets, we have other things.
We do have a lot. We do. I grant you that. Let's try and clarify some of that, shall we? $1 Million Secrets is an information site for you guys. $1 Million Secrets is a training resource site. Yeah. So it's a place where we can put training up. We can send you guys so you can see the videos. And as you go out and you recruit new people, you can send your team to there so they can see the training straight away. But $1 Million Secrets isn't a site that you would share with prospects. $1 Million Secrets is something to help train your distributors. Your Kuvera site, these corporate sites, I don't know what it is about corporate sites. They look very pretty, and they're written very clearly and eloquently, and they're well educated. They're not written by anyone who knows how to create excitement and close a prospect. And I can't help but feel that when you look at the Kuvera site and everything else, you get to the end of it and you just end up feeling a little bit, now what? And you don't get that sense of what am I going to do next? If you go to my own website, every page finishes with a call to action. Now, you guys know I've been a copywriter for a long time. A call to action is very simple to explain. A call to action is an instruction. Every single page that I put, at the end of it, there is an instruction that says, now you need to do this. Now you need to phone me. Now you need to call me. Now you need to put your email address in here. Now you need to click here and do this. But there's an instruction at the end of it. You get to the end of Kuvera's pages and you're like, now what? It's like it's left out there. Plus, of course, the other problem with actually sending people straight to your Covera website, first of all, it's not going to close for you. The second thing is they don't the people that go to it don't get all the questions that they want answered. Then they decide, okay, I'll Google Covera. And the minute they Google Covera, they find someone who's tried Covera, failed, and says it's a scam. And it doesn't matter which company it is. It doesn't matter whether it's Covera, whether it's any other network marketing company. It could be Apple. It could be anybody. You turn around and you type in Apple iPhone, and you'll get a million pages that will tell you they're absolute crap. Don't ever touch one of those. You should buy an Android. You should buy Samsung. You should buy this. Apple, you know, they're sort of in league with the devil. People love writing garbage. Someone has a bad experience about something, they write something poisonous about it. Same thing happens with Covera. Someone tries Covera, or well, they don't try Covera. Someone joins Covera, sits around for 6 weeks, doesn't do a damn thing, don't make any money out of it. Then they say, well, it didn't work. Well, no, you didn't work, but that's a different subject. So people will put negatives about it. So that's another reason why I don't send people to my Covera website. The only time people go to my Covera website is actually to sign up. But as far as the other sites that we've got, I would suggest that really, I personally have my own website. I have Roger Garth UK, and I use Roger Garth UK as, it's rogergarth.uk, and I use that for landing pages. So when you saw that ad that I put up by mistake a couple of weeks ago, and I just showed it a few minutes ago, when I put that ad up somewhere, someone clicks on that and it will go to that landing page. When it goes to the landing page, it gives them a sell, and it's pitched at people who have tried network marketing in the past and not succeeded, but they still like and believe in it, and they want to find something better. And they're maybe not ready to give up on their own company either. What they're really looking for right now is some way of trying to find out how they can recruit people into their business. So what I offer is a 10-day boot camp that they can go to, and they can go on this free 10-day boot camp that will teach them how to use social media to promote their business. And as soon as they fill in that page, as soon as they put their email address to get that, then I've got their email address, and now I can follow them up. And so I can start chasing them to try and build my business and try and sponsor them into my business. And Graham's already been to it. Cello's already been to it. They've actually both seen the boot camp. I don't know whether Cello's actually been through the boot camp, but he's been through some of the other stuff. And I don't know how much you've been through with it, Graham, as well, but they have seen that. And if anyone wants to know about it, send me a message afterwards, and I'll tell you where you can actually go to have a look at it and see the information that's in there. I think it's really important that we give people the education, tell people how to actually do this. And I think as things are progressing with our business, I think it's going to become more and more important. Social media you have to put some work into social media. There's no two ways about it. If you look at Simon Brooks and I, we're having conversations about the way our business is today compared to how it was 30 years ago. See, 30 years ago, it was fairly simple for me and Simon. What we did was we put an advert in the Sunday Times, in the Telegraph, and in Times, Telegraph, Guardian, and Express. Yeah, always on Sunday. And in fact, no, I did Sundays and Wednesdays. Both days were good. And we put a short lineage ad, it's maybe an inch deep by 1 column wide. And there'd probably be no more than sort of 50 words. And then a telephone number. And people phoned to get more information, and it was our own personal telephone numbers. At one point in time, I was working full time, so I couldn't take it personally. So it just went to voicemail. People would leave their name and contact numbers, and I would phone them up and follow them up. That was it. That's all that we did. And to do that, what we actually did when we did it was we placed those ads, We follow people up, and then we'd sell them on joining the business. Now, there is a difference. The business that we were in at that time, we would sell them in coming in at the equivalent of the position that was called a direct distributor, which was probably about equivalent to having your first three, but they could actually buy into that position. It would cost them £2,700 30 years ago. Cost them £2,700 30 years ago to come in at that place. But typically, Simon and I would get 2 or 3 a week that would do that. But every time one of them did that, we got paid about £300 because that £2,700 of product that we sold them, we got paid a commission on it. Now, because we made a commission on that sale, we could afford to pay for that advertising. So we spent 300 quid a week in advertising, spend £300 a week in advertising, make £600 worth of sales. You can pay for next week's adverts and you still got some more money, and you start building your team. That's what we did. It's not like that these days. When you sign someone up with Covera, you don't make any money out of them. You only start to make money out of Covera when you help them to build their team. So advertising is a more difficult subject for us right now. And I told you guys that I've been trying to work on a system right now that's going to help us to advertise, but it's got to be able to pay. And I've come up with, I said about capture pages, and I've got a number of different capture pages, and I've got products to sell on my capture pages where people will come across, buy something for $10 or $20, and then they'll go into my autoresponder system to follow up. And what I've done is, hopefully, what I intend to do is, the $10 is going to pay for my advertising, and I've got their name to chase them up and build that business through. But I've got to make sure, before I roll this out to any of you guys, I've got to make sure that the system will make enough sales to pay for your advertising. It's no good telling you to go out and buy advertising and you not get any money back from it. The advertising has to pay for itself. As long as the advertising can fund itself and it can bring you a steady flow of prospects in, your business can take off. And about 3 or 4 times in the last couple of weeks, I thought that I'd found that magic breakthrough solution. And I've been shot down in flames a few times in this last few weeks. And every time I get shot down in flames, it costs me money. So it's an expensive way of learning this. But at least I'll get this one nailed. And and I'll pay the money out, and I'll learn, I'll figure it out, and I'll take the losses right now. But once I've got it, once I know that it works, then I'll roll it out to you guys properly, and I'll tell you what I'm doing and how it's going to bring more people in and how I can sponsor people from it. And I'll introduce you to the people that I've sponsored from it. I think this weekend, I think I've made, I hope I've made that breakthrough again. So I will let you know on that. That will take some of the pressure off social media, if that works. If not, however, social media is still our lifesaver, because social media is the way that we get to reach out to as many people as we want for no cost. The only cost is not a pounds, shillings, dollar, whatever it is cost. The only cost is time and effort in social media. So you're going to have to put some time and effort into it if you want to get contacts on social media. But if you put the contacts into time and effort, put the time and effort into building contacts and building your followers on social media, that will snowball, and that will grow from from period to period. It'll get bigger, 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 and eventually you'll get to the point where people are just coming to you and asking you to join your business without you actually doing anything. They'll just come to you. But that won't happen overnight. That could take you 3 months. That could take you 6 months. It's a slow way of doing it, but it is a certain way of doing it. So you do need to be doing it. You do need to be sharing it, because the reality of it is, not many of us have jobs where we come across brand new people every single day of our life. Femi does, because he has 1 million people come into his shop all the time, but he's not really in a position to talk to them when he comes into the shop, because it's a fast food outlet. They're coming in and they just want their food and they want to get out. So we can't really get into a conversation with them. Yeah. You know, I suppose the only job that you actually get people for any period of time is if you're a taxi driver and you've got them stuck there. But even then, it's bringing the conversation up. You know, how many people would listen to the taxi driver talking to them about investments? You go, you're a cab driver. What do you know about it? So we don't come across those people in our day-to-day lives. We've got to reach out, and this is the way for us to reach out. But it is a very, very effective way for us to reach out. Now, as ever, this recording is going to go back out, going to come out tomorrow, so you can go through it all over again. The slides that I've shown you, all those slides will be printed out, and I'll send the printouts through to you, so you've got all that as well. So there's a ton of stuff that you can do. And as I said, if you want to click over, to my Facebook page, then when I send the slides out, you'll see the link there to the Facebook page for Marketing Mutineer. So you can look at that and see what that looks like. I'll send you some other links for some other ideas, so you can get some ideas for creating your own page. And then beyond that, if you need any help, you know where I am. You can ask any questions of the Phoenix Group and we'll move on. But one way or another, we do need to be attracting this younger demographic. And you know, the younger demographic it's not our friends and relatives, because our friends and relatives are our age or older. You know, it's our kids and our grandkids. You know, it's like, you know, my son's 30 this year, and when they look at millennials, that millennials think my son's getting old. So that's quite scary, really. You know, we need to be attracting these younger people, because when you see these young kids, they go everywhere with their phones and they're just constantly snapping each other and everything else. And I kind of look at it and I turn into a grumpy old man and go, why can't these people get a life? But that is their life. That's the way of life today. And it's all about glamour. It's all about glitz. And then when you see the stuff that's coming out of France, you see the stuff that's coming out of the States from Anthony Neapolitano. When you see Anthony Neapolitano and he puts videos out, this kid's making 120 or 160 grand a month he's on right now. He's making mega money. He's like, you know, millions a year now. He's 24 years old. He pays a guy to follow him with a video camera. Yeah, he doesn't do it with his iPhone anymore. He has a video photographer paid to go around with him and film him. So he looks like a movie star. And the young kids see him doing that, and they want to be a movie star as well. If we can just tap into it, we've only got to find one excited 20-year-old who's got a bit of go about them and says, I want that. And then start showing off to their friends, who shows off to their friends, who shows off to their friends, and gets it all over Instagram. And that's your team starting rolling and starting to grow crazy. Don't forget, really, you need 3 of them. You don't need 1 of them. You need 3 of them. You need 1 in each leg. 3 people like that can turn you into a millionaire in a ridiculously short space of time. But right now, we're not talking to them. So we've got to find a way of talking to these people right now. So social media is our way of doing it. And as I said, with a bit of luck, my advertising solution will also come as a way, because my advertising solution, I can target people. If I get my advertising solution to actually pay, but I have to make it pay for you before I actually give it to you, because I'm not going to give you something that will be a financial burden to you. I want to give you something that will be a bonus to you, not a burden. Any questions, guys, before we wrap it up? No? That was quiet. Okay, right. In that case, I'm going to have a glass of wine, and I'll see you all soon. So have fun, guys, and I'll get this stuff out to you tomorrow. See you soon. Bye, everybody.